I'm Zach.
And I'm Lindsay.
And this is the Game Forum's Extended Forum, episode 16. Today we're going to be talking about Cyberpunk news, the PlayStation 5, and Comic-Con. But first, what have you been playing?
So I've still been playing a little bit of Final Fantasy. I've actually been getting into this one more than I thought I would. I'm not really a big RPG person.
Yeah.
I am pretty familiar with the Final Fantasy VII lore. Like, I've seen the old movies, and I've seen a bunch of stuff online, so I've been going through and playing it, and it's been pretty fun. I still got a long ways to go. I'm probably not too far into it still.
Do you happen to know what chapter you're on?
I don't remember the exact chapter, but I think I just finished the second reactor.
Oh, you might be ahead of me.
So yeah, I just finished that up a little bit ago. But I mean, overall, I've been having fun with it. I've been kind of taking my time with stuff, looking around. There's a lot of like hidden stuff in this game, which I really like.
Yeah. I just did the second reactor mission, but I haven't left yet. Or we set the bomb, and it's the remote bomb, and we're like on our way back out. I don't know what constitutes as a spoiler, but the what I'm assuming is the boss fight when you try to leave the place. I haven't got to yet, but I'm taking the parts off. If that makes sense. Okay.
Yeah. No, that one was a fun fight. I kind of figured there'd be more space for it, though, but wasn't quite what I was expecting. But to me, that fight wasn't really one of the harder ones I've done so far. I thought the boss fight at the first reactor was probably harder.
Yeah, that one felt really hard because that was like they threw that at you like pretty quickly.
And you didn't really have much stuff to do. You only had two people. You didn't really have any materia. You didn't really have any experience.
Yeah.
It was just like, I think that's probably one of the things that made it harder. I think going back and fighting the boss at the first reactor with what you have, I mean, even now would be way easier.
Yeah. Who was it? I had a very hard time fighting Roche, I think. On the mission, it's like chapter 3 or chapter 4. It's after the... God, I don't know what counts as spoiler. After you fight him on the highway.
Oh, yeah, I know who you're talking about.
After that, the other, the actual one-on-one fight, I had a hard time with that.
Yeah, he was pretty annoying. I guess we'll try not to be too spoilery on this.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I definitely know what you mean. Other than that, I played just a little bit of Call of Duty, and that's about it this week.
Oh, that's not bad. So yeah, I played a little bit of Final Fantasy VII. I think I'm like 9 hours in, but I'm not as far as you chapter wise. But I mean, I still like it, but I'm definitely not like super grabbed or super drawn to it. It's like, oh yeah, I'll pick it up and I'll play it for a little bit, and then I do get sucked in when I'm playing it because the music is really good, the graphics are awesome, the story's really good, but like I haven't found a single character that I like really enjoy.
Yeah,
I do like the dynamics with like Cloud and Tifa, and then Cloud and Jessie, but the Cloud and Jessie dynamic is really annoying. To the point where like Jessie. I don't like her at all.
I was like, just trying to take advantage of Cloud.
Yeah, and it was really creepy to the point where I was like, this what? I don't know what they're trying to do with this. Hopefully it gets fleshed out, but I just thought that was very odd. And
playing this game reminds me of a lot of different like tropes from different animes and stuff I've seen.
Oh, okay.
And I'm like, yeah, I get what they're going on here. Like, I mean, it's pretty well a lot of the tropes from different anime shows and stuff are finding their ways into these games. And some of them are good, some of them are bad, but it's like I kind of get the vibe they're going for.
Yeah, and I get it that the game originally came out in 1997 and things were very different then, but I also feel like you had the ability to change up some stuff.
Yeah.
But I guess they also had, well, they have to keep it true to the source, and so they couldn't change too much. So I understand that. But like I went back and played some more of Final Fantasy VII, the original,
Oh,
and I only
really?
played, yeah, so I only played like 15 minutes more. And for some reason, so much had happened in that 15 minutes that I'm 9 hours into the game on the remake, and I'm not even close to what I was in for the original. Like
Oh, wow.
it was like uh I think, where was it? I was an hour and 15 minutes in last week. I played for 15 more minutes, and I did the second reactor mission, and then I'll like it flew through a lot of stuff to the point to where like there's scenes in the remake that are literal like 2 second scenes in the original, and they
Hmm.
fleshed it out to be like hours, which is insane.
Yeah, well, I'm also wondering how many, like they said they're going to split Final Fantasy up into a couple of games.
Yeah,
I'm wondering if it's just going to be two or if it's going to be three.
I
Um,
the rumor is three, but
I've
nothing's been.
heard now that the second one is supposed to be called Final Fantasy VII Genosha, for part two.
Yeah,
But I've also been hearing some rumors that there's probably going to be a part three at this point as well.
yeah, because Final Fantasy VII is a very long game, and Midgar is a very small part of it. So it's going to be interesting how they do that. I don't remember the dude's first name, but Nomura is kind of the creative director for this, and he did Kingdom Hearts. Like he was responsible for Kingdom Hearts, and so there's a notorious amount of Kingdom Hearts games. So there's no telling what he's capable of with like taking a very small story and just stretching it out.
Now, I have two thoughts on this.
Yeah,
A, let's say they do a trilogy. I definitely feel like they're going to do like a trilogy set where you could download all three of them and play through.
oh yeah,
I feel like that's a no-brainer.
yeah,
B, I'm really curious, and I hope they do this to where you can load in your character and everything you had and all your stats from one game into the other. Because
that
having to start over would be really annoying.
and in terms of like plot and story, that's going to be a huge challenge because if you end this game at level 50 and you start the next game at level 50 just as strong, where are you going to go from there?
Yeah.
And it
And
was
what
either
about people who didn't have the first part of the game? How are they going to
exactly
balance that?
where are they going to start? And like one thing I noticed when you started the remake, you start off at level 7, and it's because like oh, they already all have some experience, Cloud's a mercenary, and then everyone else in the Avalanche group have been in combat, so you start off at a higher level. So I mean I don't know, it's going to be a huge challenge, and it's not like it hasn't been done before. But
That's a really interesting point though. What if they have it set to essentially auto correct for your level? Like if you just start the game, maybe you start at like level, I don't know, like 20 or 30, and then if you've played the game, maybe it maxes out at like
yeah,
level like 20 or 30 or whatever. I don't know. I don't know what the max level in this game is yet.
hopefully they do something interesting and not just like the typical you lose all your powers and you got to restart and build your character back up, because I hate when games do that. And
Yeah.
it's the easiest way, but it's also like overdone.
Well, this really reminds me of something. Armored Core has been doing this since the PlayStation 2.
Yeah,
If you played like back on the PlayStation 2, if you played Armored Core 2 and you unlocked a bunch of parts and had stuff customized and equipped,
yeah,
when you got Armored Core 2 Another Age, which was the sequel, you could load that set into that game. It had all the same weapons and stuff. It
yeah.
just had a bunch of other stuff added on that you could get later. So if you started the game off and could load your stuff in, you could pretty well jump straight into it, or it'd take you a little bit longer to get going in without that head start. But I mean, it pretty well imported everything you had from one game into the next, like flawlessly. And they did that for several of them.
Yeah. 'Cause I know like the Mass Effect series was really good at transferring over choices and stuff. And I feel like the Final Fantasy 7 to whatever the second one will be called would be possible or at least easier. But if they do it cross gen, I don't know how that's going to happen. But if the PS5 and the Series X is as backwards compatible as we are hoping they are, then that shouldn't be an issue.
Yeah, no, that's definitely true.
Yeah. And also the other game I've been playing was Resident Evil 3. I cannot stop playing this game. It is
Really?
so fun. I've beaten it 4 or 5 times now. I think I've beaten it 4 times. I'm about to beat it a fifth time.
Oh, wow.
It is so like when you beat the game, you get there's these records that you can do, like not actual like records you play, but like challenges, let's say.
Yeah.
And when you complete the challenges, you get a certain number of points, and you can take those points to the shop that's in the menu, and you can buy like a pistol with infinite ammo, or you can buy a machine gun with infinite ammo. You can buy different costumes. You can buy these coins that will like up your damage, let you recover health like over time. And I was gonna like, oh, I'm gonna get some of this stuff to make my runs easier, but then I said, wait, I'm just gonna grind these kills at these specific parts, and then I got up enough currency to buy the unlimited rocket launcher, and so
Oh,
I'm just doing like super easy runs. Like I've got it down to where I can beat the game in like 2.5 hours. And so I'm like, oh man, this is so fun. So I'm trying to knock it down to less than 2 hours because there's a trophy for that. And then I also want to beat it on hardcore and then nightmare and then inferno. And so I'm like, oh, this is so fun. It is absolutely so much fun.
that's pretty cool.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I was
I
not
definitely
expecting.
like that idea. That's
Yeah,
a really cool thing to put in there.
yeah. It's like I can beat the game. I can sit down, start a new game, and finish it in under 3 hours, which is awesome. And it feels like a full experience. It's like this is a pretty major AAA game,
Yeah,
and so it's like it's awesome that I didn't think I was gonna like it this much. Truth be told.
awesome.
But
Um,
that's about it. That's all I've played. I think I played one match of Warzone, but that was it.
Gotcha. I guess getting into news this week, Xbox just released a trailer for a customized Cyberpunk edition Xbox One.
Yeah,
A, I think it looks kind of cool, but
yeah, yeah,
B, I kind of feel this is like a little too late. Like, who wants to buy an Xbox One like 6 months before the Xbox Series X comes out?
yeah,
I just feel like, I mean, I get it. It's cool if you want to get one and you're not planning on getting, a Series X for a while. That's
yeah,
fine. It just feels like odd timing to me to have like a major, edition of a console come out this close to the next console.
yeah. I'm assuming that Sony and maybe even Microsoft are. They feel like the adaptation rate is going to be super slow because PS4 and the Xbox One still have so many games coming out.
Yeah.
And so they're like, oh, okay, well, and like even Microsoft has come out and said, hey, there's not going to be any exclusive on the Series X for the first 2 years. And if that's
The
the
first
case,
2 years? I thought it was the first year.
no, they said like the first 12 to 18 months.
Okay.
So it could be a year. But that's first party. So there could be a third party game that comes out exclusively to next gen. But for their first party, there's going to be a gap. So it seems like they're just like, oh yeah, just it doesn't matter if you have an Xbox One, an S, an X, a Series X, or the rumored Series S, as long as you have Xbox, you're in their ecosystem, and that's all they care about.
I guess so. I mean, it just seems really odd to me for them to put out
Oh
like
yeah,
a new version. I mean, it's nothing like brand new. It's just modded to look different.
yeah, and
But
it does come with the game though, even though the game comes out a while later, but it
yeah,
does come with it.
but I mean, it is really cool looking. I definitely tell they put a little work into this one. It's got some like LEDs on it. It's
Yeah,
got like a custom case for it. The custom controller for it. It's really cool looking.
yeah.
Um,
The controller looks cool.
yeah.
I noticed that the controller had leaked a few days before it officially got announced, but it was everyone knew it was coming, but I wasn't expecting it to look as good as it does.
Yeah, no, they had yeah, it had leaked a couple days before,
Yeah,
but they ended up just being like, well, screw it, we'll just put it out now that everybody knows about it.
Yeah,
But no, it definitely looks really cool. I like I said again, I just think it's weird timing this close to a new console launch. But either
yeah,
that or maybe Xbox is, they're not focusing on the new console as much, or maybe they're figuring they're not going to be able to meet their production quotas due to coronavirus, and a lot of the parts for this are already in production and warehouse storage due to them already producing Xbox Ones. So
yeah,
it'd probably be a lot easier to produce as well.
yeah. Um, and yeah, and there's nothing's been officially announced, but I'm pretty sure there's a marketing deal slash exclusivity with Microsoft for Cyberpunk because Cyberpunk was revealed on the Xbox stage. There was a
Oh,
at
that's
the,
true.
so there could be some type of deal that's going on right there to where they're just helping each other out. Which, if that's the case, that's a huge win for Xbox to have Cyberpunk.
Yes, I think that game's going to be huge when it comes out.
Yeah, I there was a year ago a video leaked that was an hour long gameplay, and I never really watched it, but I watched it recently because of I saw this Xbox, and I'm like, ooh, this is cool. I haven't really seen anything with Cyberpunk, so I watched that video. This game is going to be insane. Like I don't know if I want to play it on PS4 or I have the PS4 Pro. I
Hmm.
might want to wait until the PS5 because I just feel like I want to play this game at the best that it can be played at. And of course, I don't have a gaming PC or at least a high end one.
Yeah.
But moving on to our second story with the PS5. Apparently, it's going to be a limited stock at least until the fiscal year ending in March 31st, 2021. According to Bloomberg, people familiar with the matter claiming that Sony is going to produce fewer PS5 units compared to the PS4 on this launch year. The difference is going to be like the PS5 will be 5 to 6 million units, and the PS4 sold over 7 million. So that's going to be a huge dip. So the reasoning for that is apparently the higher price tag. It looks like the PS5 is going to be launching around $499 to $549. Now I'm assuming they're hoping that that'll put off some potential buyers in the launch year, so they're going to scale down production. What do you think about this? Do you think they're actually going to launch at $499 or $549 or
I
higher?
I definitely could see them hitting 4.99 or 5.49. I do not see them touching 5.99 like the PlayStation 3 again. They
Yeah,
took a lot of heat for that.
yeah,
I think they would just take the loss and do 550 before they hit that 600 number again.
yeah.
Uh, I don't really think that this is going to dissuade a lot of people from buying it, though.
No, I don't think
Like,
so.
so many people want these new consoles, and the PlayStation 4 has sold so well. If they come out of the gates and start showing off all these new games soon and really start pushing it, I could see them running out of stock incredibly fast. Definitely
Yeah,
way before March. Um,
and yeah,
so this is going to be one of those console releases where if you really want it, you'd better pre-order this one because it's going to be really hard to get a hold of.
yeah, and like going from the PS3 to the PS4 was a much smaller group of people. I mean, not much. It was still pretty big. There was
Yeah,
like what 70 to 80 million PS3s sold.
yeah,
We're
something
we're
like
at
that.
110 million PS4s. So there's a huge chunk of people that are going to be going over to PS5.
And
But
gaming culture as a whole has adapted a lot more too, because
yeah,
now there's so much more focus on digital downloads. There's so much more focus on people streaming and playing together.
yeah,
If all your friends say they're getting PlayStation 5s, you can't be the only one who's not going to do it. You need to get one too. Um, I'm really curious to see what Sony's marketing campaign for the PlayStation 5 is going to be like. Because if
too.
they just knock down the door and start throwing games out and big hype and big commercials, they're not going to have any on the shelves, and that's going to make a lot of pissed off people. I
Yeah,
would almost expect them to kind of tone down the marketing on this until they get their production back up.
yeah, especially with everything that's going on around, or going on right now with the coronavirus. Like they I'm almost positive their promotional plans that they had set are scratched right now. And this might be the reason for Sony's silence is they don't know what to do.
Yeah, I mean
Xbox kind of got lucky with talking about the Series X in December, so now they're just kind of like sitting easy. But Sony is like, we have to announce something, but we can't announce it right now.
yeah. I definitely think this is to Sony's disadvantage in all of this. From everything we had seen and talked about before, we
Yeah,
were pretty sure that they were going to start announcing like big stuff, like this month or next month,
yeah,
um, and have like a really big launch and all that because they seem to be focusing on the PlayStation 5 a lot more than the Xbox was focusing on the Xbox Series X.
yeah,
Now that the coronavirus has hit and limited their production and limited the distribution and all this other kind of stuff, it's kind of got them in a bind where I'm going to agree with you. They don't really know what to do right now or how
yeah.
long this is going to last.
Yeah, and like to be fair, no one knows. So they're not making wrong decisions, but they're also not making decisions, it seems like, which is also not going to be good. And like according to the Bloomberg report that I mentioned earlier, last week we had gone over the DualSense controller, which is the new PlayStation 5 controller. Apparently, they had only announced that because they just put it in developers' hands and they were afraid of it leaking. So they just went ahead and like posted about it. So that wasn't even well thought out. They were just like, here's a new controller, and it worked in their favor. And
Yeah.
so I mean, people are totally expecting. I mean, honestly, today we're recording this on Sunday, April 19th. There's a huge rumor that on Tuesday, April 21st, Sony is going to show the console in the same way that they showed the DualSense. They're just going to post pictures online and then post a blog post talking about it, which could absolutely happen.
See, I think that would be a mistake on Sony's part, though.
Yeah,
I get they had to put something out for the PlayStation 4 controller,
yeah,
and it definitely went over a lot better than I would have expected for them to just throw up a couple high resolution screenshots without
yeah,
an actual reveal video or anything.
yeah,
But I mean, if they put out like this is the PlayStation 5, by the way, guys. Okay. I'm like they need to have a much more hyped up tone to it and put out, like a really cool video or something to really get people pumped about this because this is going to be their big reveal that people have been waiting forever for. I don't want to just see a couple high res pictures of a PlayStation 5.
yeah. I don't know if they need to though, because when they had brought up like, "Hey, Mark Cerny is going to be doing a deep dive into the road of PlayStation 5," they didn't really do any promoting of that, and it blew up. So there may just be so many PlayStation 4 supporters out there right now that they can't talk anything about the PS5 without people just going nuts on it,
Well,
and it
that
just blowing
too. And
up.
with everything else being shut down, like there's a huge lack of news. Like
Yeah,
hardly any developers are working on anything, hardly anyone's doing anything. So, if you put anything out, everybody just eats it up right now because there's nothing else going on.
yeah, yeah.
Uh,
That is true.
and speaking about nothing else going on, our last news story for the week, Comic Con got canceled.
Yeah,
This is the first time in its 50-year run where they have actually canceled Comic Con, which I find really surprising. I get
insane.
it under the current climate.
Yeah,
Still, that's a pretty big deal. There's a lot of people who unveil stuff at Comic Con. Movie studios, game studios. I mean, it's a really big event for media in general, and that's going to leave a lot of people without that exposure, trying to figure out how to get messaging about their new stuff out to people.
yeah. And it's like that fundamentally changes everything because typically at Comic Con you get a lot of movies that get announced, or at least in the Marvel Hall H, where that's where they like that's the big
Mm.
stuff. That's where. And so with this coronavirus thing going on, movie theaters are being displaced and shut down, and so now movies are being pushed, and so it's like this things are going to be completely different. Like the summer blockbuster is a thing of the past. more
At
than like
least for this year, there's not going to be a summer blockbuster.
yeah. But like, well, let's say a movie comes out during the summer because that's when everybody is home. Supposedly, and everyone's
Yeah.
able to go out and watch. Teenagers are able to go out and watch movies, and that only works because there are lots and lots of movie theaters. If most of these movie theaters are getting shut down, you can release a movie during the summer, and when the new Star Wars movie hits and it hits $1 billion over the summer, if there's 30% less movie theaters, they may only hit 700 million. And so this like really changes what an idea of a summer blockbuster could be. And that's much bigger than something like Comic-Con being shut down or at least canceled for the year. But like this small effect is going to ripple into like changing the entertainment industry.
Yes. No, like with everything going on right now, there's a lot of stuff up in the air because you have a lot of the movie industry works heavily on like gig workers and the gig economy
Yeah.
of like having special effects people come in and do this job, and then having you know uh, extras and set crew and all these other people, set makers and all these kind of people come in and work temporarily on a project, and you just go to the next project because there's always a project.
Yeah.
Well, right now, nothing is filming, nothing is happening, and all these people are just completely out of work with nothing else they can jump on because nothing is getting produced right now.
Yeah. There is a podcast that I listen to. I just recently found them. They're called Married to the Games, and they're really awesome, very like wholesome, and they're all like older people with significant others and kids and stuff. So it's really cool. But one of them is he's like an editor for a company that gets trailers, and they'll edit down trailers to send out. And there was a movie that was apparently going to have a trailer come out soon, but they can't release it because, well, I mean, one, it would be kind of stupid right now, but they couldn't get the person to record the voiceover for it in because of travel restrictions. So they're like, we need is someone to go in the booth and record some lines, and then the trailer will be finalized, but they can't do that because of travel restrictions.
Oh, wow.
I'm like, this is gonna change a lot, and Comic Con being canceled, Gamescom being canceled, E3. I mean, who would have thought E3? But then again, E3 was on such a downward spiral. But like Comic Con's been doing awesome.
Yeah. Well, say, I go to a lot of these conventions and stuff too. MomoCon here in Atlanta was supposed to be at the end of May, and I was
Yeah,
really looking forward to that. And they tried to push back the dates a little bit, and they just couldn't work it out, and they don't know when this is going to be over, so it got canceled as well.
yeah,
So there's been a lot of stuff going on lately.
yeah. It'll be interesting to see how long this takes, slash how long it takes until it happens again, because it like they can't we can't be shut down for 18 months, but
Yeah.
we can be shut down for 3 months and then come back and then shut down for another 3 months and then come back until they get something figured out where it could put a stop to this or at least slow it down. I don't know, but we're a video game podcast or channel, and we don't know, we're not a news channel, so we
We're
don't
your
know.
video game news channel, and right now the main news is affecting all news.
Yeah, yeah,
Uh,
it's pretty insane.
yeah, I think that's about all we got for this week.
Yeah,
Don't forget to leave a comment below. Tell us what you think, and like, share, and subscribe.